on his rape charge, he did. That's the only thing he got on me, mate.
Chilling police footage shows a convicted rapist admit to abusing women. Aftab Zulfikar was found guilty of 2 counts of rape and coercive and controlling behaviour. He's been sent to 13 years behind bars.
Joe had reported after Zulfikar on this day, on that time.
But we do have to.
Huh?
I'm telling you, we do.
on his rape charge, he did. That's the only thing he got on me, mate. One time, when I was like, back in the days, I would be a and I would be a very, very big and I learned it hard way. I was with women, but I never raped them. Alright? Now, things have changed. I see it a bit more. It's a bit more. When you grow up, you see a bit more lively. You realise things. What's right, what's wrong. Everyone's saying to me, "No, what? You changed a lot, you." You know what I mean? You're a better person before. You're much calmer. Be a bit tapped in the head, but it goes on, innit?
Good afternoon. 4 young girls aged just 16, 15, 10 and 3 have all died with their mother in a fire at their home in Lancashire. The girl's father is critically ill in hospital with severe burns. The fire happened in Akrington early this morning. One fireman attending the scene says it's one of the most appalling tragedies he's ever seen. The blaze is being treated as suspicious.
As fire raged through this end-terraced house in the early hours, the family inside were asleep. The flames gutted the upstairs, windows smashed out onto the street. The blaze took hold before 39-year-old Muhammad Riaz could be saved. Her 4 daughters, Syra, Sophia, Alicia and Hannah, died with her. The oldest was 16 years old, the youngest just 3. Their father Mohammed survived. He's being treated for severe burns at Wythenshawe Hospital in Manchester. The police say they need to talk to him as a priority.
The house was secure and was locked from the inside. Early indications for the inquiry so far are that whoever set the fire and carried out some other suspicious activity, which I can't go into at this stage, did not leave the premises.
We got called out at 3 o'clock in the morning and I turned up 5 bodies laid in the street. One of which was a 3-year-old girl. It is the most horrific thing that certainly I have seen in my police service.
I believe the 3-year-old was recovered off the bed.
Yeah.
As you can see, the mattress has been completely destroyed on this half here. Very little of it left on that side.
Yeah.
The mother was found on the far side.
Yeah. Off the bed on the floor.
Which is a natural area for somebody to go.
And seek some form of refuge or protection.
That's right. This is one of the only rooms that has actually been affected by fire.
Yeah.
The rest are smoke damaged and heat damaged.
Yeah.
So far we found 2 petrol cans.
Yeah.
Both in the middle room where the mother and the daughter are.
Yeah.
One by the door.
Yeah.
Which could have been placed there.
Yeah.
While the mother and the child were sleeping.
Yeah.
There was little doubt that the fire was pre-planned and the intention was to kill.
The minute that fuel had been ignited, there would have been an intense rush of flames.
And if they're sleeping soundly, the effects of them inhaling that, because they're sleeping, is far greater and far more significant in relation to their chances of survival.
Yes, the intense heat at which the wood and all the rest of the materials around the burning superheats those fumes.
Yeah.
And if those superheated fumes were inhaled, there's very little chance of survival.
Right.
The fire was started at the top of the stairs, making escape almost impossible. The next morning, a 20-strong murder team began to interview friends and family in the tightly knit local community.
What background have we got on this family now?
We've spoken to schools, the teachers from schools where the 4 children went, and the consensus of opinion there is that they were model pupils, model children, The mother was heavily involved in community issues. She was a governor at, it was Parkhead School, I think, was it, Mark? A governor. She was on the board of trustees for the nursery.
Are you okay if I just jump to Steve, because you may be able to help us some more?
Riaz is very traditional in terms of wanting Kenise to stay at home and look after the children. It was an arranged marriage, which Jim said was never really a happy one, but it seems to be that Kenise's attitude changed when her father died. In 2003, it was almost as if, well, he's not here to tell me what to do anymore. And that coincided with her career blossoming.
Police Family Liaison Officer Steve Cox had known Kenise, the wife and mother, for a number of years through her work in the community. She was involved in various projects to help immigrant women find their feet in Akrington.
If there's Asian women who want to go swimming or Asian women who want to take part in reading courses, they feel they don't want to because there's males there. So she created female-only swimming courses, female-only learning centres. She was arguing against a lot of Asian males about what was right and what was wrong. And this is something that Riaz couldn't understand or handle. He wanted his wife to do as he said. Please stop work now, I don't want you working anymore, stay at home. She didn't want to. I don't think he liked that loss of control. There was never a problem before while my dad was alive. And as soon as my father passed away, Riaz decided, maybe it's my turn, I'll rule the family now, I'm the big man. He wanted to stop the girls from going to college when they were going to leave school. My sister said, that's not going to happen. That will not happen. The girls will not stop school when they reach 16. The girls will not become wives, young wives, to people they don't understand or know. They are not getting married in Pakistan. That's what she said. They will not get married from Pakistan because their generation is a lot different from our own generation. It's a different time and a different world.
When your daughters get to a certain age, then they have to conform to a particular pattern of behaviour, and that is to be quite subdued, it's to be an almost seen but not heard type of behaviour. You go to school, you come home, you're expected to learn how to cook, you look after your father and your brothers, that type of behaviour. Fathers, in particular from the subcontinent, would want that because their daughters represent their honour, the honour of the family, and they represent, you know, his respect. Now, Kenise, she would have resisted. One thing that I could say quite categorically is that she would do what she thought was right for her girls, and if that meant that they were going to go on to further education or they were going to do take part in a certain activity, and it meant that she had to have a row about it or have to face her husband and all of those things, she would do it.
Kenise grew up in Akrington with her forthright English mother and her beloved Pakistani father. He arranged her marriage in his home village in northern Pakistan. She married her first cousin Muhammad when she was 21.
There has been a degradation in the relationship over about a 3-year period. She is becoming more westernised, and some of the circumstances Barry's explained to us where the girls in Kenise would buy clothing that was still modest by, say, some cultures, but was more tight-fitting. Mohammed wouldn't say anything, but when it was out in the wash, it would disappear and would be destroyed. He wanted the girls to have arranged marriages, and Kenise didn't.
We decided a couple of hours after we'd found out about Kenise and the girls that someone needed to go and tell Adam. Barry sat down at the side of him and I stood, you know, at the back, and he just said, I've got something to tell you. Something bad's happened. There's been a fire. And Adam said, you know, what about my mum and sisters? And he said, no, Adam, they're gone. And for about 20 minutes, he cried and screamed and sobbed like a baby. And for us to actually stand there and tell him that basically you've got nothing left, I can't imagine how he would have been feeling.
Adam thought he would be the first person to die in the family, and within 24 hours he's the only surviving member of the family, and he has to cope with that together with the illness that he has, which we're led to believe is terminal as well.
That's what broke my sister's heart at the time, because he was a young boy in a broken body, and he was trying to be strong for his mum.
The police approached friends and colleagues of Kaniz to find out more about life in the Riaz household.
Perhaps everything wasn't okay in the family. Do you think that's a fair thing to say?
That's a fair thing to say.
Why was that? What was happening?
We don't know why or exactly what was happening. We just know that that husband and wife they were having difficulties in their relationship.
How did you know that?
Just general conversation with Kaniz. She was adamant that she was going to focus on the children and not sort of bow down to the sort of stereotypical views that we have about women, and that she was adamant that she will continue to speak to people and do things because she believed that she wasn't doing anything wrong. And she used to use words like, I don't really give a shit. You know, you want to say that, people want to think that. That's their problem, not mine.
When was the last time you saw her?
Monday.
Monday?
Monday sort of afternoon. I saw her. She didn't come to work on Tuesday because she was with Adam. Doing that. So, I mean, that's one of the things that she did say, that Riaz wasn't coping and she was having to sort of deal with it and come to terms with it, and Riaz still hadn't come to terms with it. He was finding it very difficult to deal with Adam's illness, and almost she had like another child that she was having to deal with, Riaz. As a husband. So in a way she was having to be really strong.
My wife keeps saying that about me.
I think most wives say that. With a child in there.
Kaniz's lifestyle, would you say that in their relationship, from what you know of Kaniz and what you know of Mr. Riaz, would you say that would cause friction between them?
Possibility. I think there's a possibility because she was very sort of westernised. I don't mean in a non-Islamic way. Very outgoing, very bubbly character, talking to people, and some people could read into that as being not appropriate for an Asian woman.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else you can think of, sir?
I think the only other thing to be aware of is something that the community is concerned about. What I said earlier, that it doesn't become a Muslim issue.
No, I can't say it will, to be honest.
And it doesn't become honour issue.
Well,
or if it does, one of the things that mosques are aware of, and there's something very sensitive to, is that then the blame then starts to come onto the mosques. Personal relationships are nothing to do with the mosque.
No.
The man who was badly burned in a fire in Lancashire that killed his wife and 4 daughters has died in hospital. Muhammad Riaz was the only survivor of the blaze at the family home in the early hours of Wednesday morning.
It's desperately sad that the vital information that Mr. Riaz could have provided with is no longer available to us now as a result of him dying. So I think it's fair to say we're not looking for anybody else in relation to the inquiry, and the matter will be referred to Her Majesty's Coroner.
Just before we buried my sister and the girls, we started receiving requests from some influential leaders in the community in Akrington of burying Muhammad Riaz alongside his wife and his daughters. We were absolutely appalled and disgusted that they even had the cheek to ask us that. We said, why should we? He's a murderer, he doesn't deserve that, he's not being buried anywhere near my family. And these handful of people in the community who actually believe they have influence in the community and who were supposed to look out for the interests of the community carried on pestering and requesting that maybe a funeral service then somewhere near Akrington for Muhammad Riaz would be appropriate, otherwise it won't look good on the community. We just thought, cheeky bastards, if it was your family, what would you do? This is our family, our private matter. Keep your nose out, we've organised everything properly.
Muhammad Riaz's family took his body back to be buried in his home village in Pakistan.
There are men here in East Lancashire who are prepared, and I've seen it firsthand, to subject their female children in particular to psychological abuse, physical abuse, forced marriages, and keeping them imprisoned in the house.
As a matter of tradition, it's usually only the men who attend the funeral service inside the mosque.
It was heartbreaking when you see the coffins rolling in, and it's not one, it's not two, but it's 5. Every woman in Akrington turned up at the funeral. And all we could do was just stare. She's there, in there, you know, and she's left a great gap in the community.
I am aware that a number of women did feel very vulnerable as a result of some of the feelings in the community. Those feelings were about questioning the role of working Muslim women, you know, why the need to go out to work. Men feel that their masculinity has been taken away from them from having women who are forward-thinking, independent and empowered. What they were fearful of, that it would be labelled as an honour killing. That's what women were frightened of, that it would be labelled as such, and in a sense, by calling it that, and this is again something that happens across the country, not just in this country, but I think on an international level, is that almost it becomes justifiable.
You can't bring the old way of life from Pakistan to England and expect it to work. And I don't think people should give any reason or excuse to this kind of action. It's cold-blooded murder. There was no honour involved. It was all actions of his own mind, that he was so selfish and pig-ignorant that he couldn't see what he was doing to his family. He couldn't see that he was closing himself off from his family. He was isolating himself, all because he wanted things his way. I'm the man, I should have it my way. And yes, it does come from his background, possibly where he's brought up to believe that he is dominant, he's the male, he's the husband, he's the father. Right or wrong, things should be done his way. But where's the honour in murdering 5 innocent people?
This had something to do with all of us. It was Kenise that died in the end, but it had something that impacted on all of us. And we all had to rethink our positions within our families and within our homes. The heart of it is that it is a patriarchal society, a male-dominated society, and that dominance is extended to women. Women are chattels to be done with as the owner sees fit, and this type of behaviour that men indulge in is perpetuated through to generation, so that each generation following on is going to think that that is the right thing to do and that's the only way to live.
Honour is completely the wrong word. It's a control murder. That's what these are. It's not honour crime, it's control crime, and fear of losing that control.
The coffins of Kenise, Sarah, Sophie, Alicia and Hannah were taken to Akrington Cemetery.
It was just very hard to stand there and watch 5 coffins get lowered one by one, all in various different sizes. The smallest obviously being Hannah, which was the hardest thing to watch, is to watch a 3-year-old being buried next to their mother and all her sisters. It was heartbreaking, really heartbreaking.
We have just said farewell to my beautiful, talented mother and sisters. I am sure everyone will understand just how hard that has been for us as a family. The attendance here today and the thousands of messages of sympathy and support we have received in the past week show the world just how many hearts were touched by my mum and my sisters during their lives, and we will always be grateful for that. Thank you.
After that, Adam's heart wasn't in it. He wanted to be with his mum. He took a photo on his phone of the mum wreath from the funeral, and you'd just see him flip his phone up, looking at the photo, and you knew that's the only person he wanted, and that's basically where he wanted to be.
Just 6 weeks after the fire, Adam died from his cancer.
There's certainly no doubt in my mind that Adam succumbed to his illness quicker than he otherwise would have done. He had nothing left to fight for. As far as I'm concerned, he was Muhammad Riaz's 6th victim. It really is beyond belief that he felt that this was somehow the answer to him losing control of his family. What's honourable about this? Kenise had done nothing wrong. On the contrary,
She was doing so much that was good. Every one of those children there are a testament to that. And they've all suffered because of one man and his completely twisted view on life. And I've got to say that whatever twisted motivation there was, it's about subjecting your own children to complete and utter brutality, whether it's physical or psychological, just because they've made you feel ashamed. You know, women are dying and being brutalised in this situation in many times throughout Britain at the moment. Cultural sensitivity is absolutely no excuse for moral blindness, and there's too much fannying about going on both sides, from both communities, and as long as that remains the situation, then young women are going to keep dying. It's as simple as that.